Hello folks, I'm Abfielder. Welcome to this Minecraft tutorial on how to transport villagers through the Nether. If you're anything like me, this is something you avoid doing because villagers are pretty much the most unpredictable mobs in Minecraft. What you end up with then is really long railway lines and it takes ages to transport villagers to far-flung locations. However, if we can send them through the Nether, then we travel 8 blocks in the overworld for every 1 block we travel in the Nether. So my aim was to create a process that was easy to build and guaranteed to work. And what that means is you can set up a single villager breeder in the overworld and then transport villagers wherever you need them really quickly. So what we're going to do is take a look at how this setup works, and then we can jump into the tutorial. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm using Logical Geek Boy's Villager Breeder. If you need to know how to build that, head to Logical's channel. What you end up with is a little bit of a rail, and then what we've got here is my transportation system. So if we go down and press the button on the back of the dispenser, that's going to pick up our adult villager. It's going to hit a bit of activator rail, which will throw the villager into the portal, and the minecart hits that cactus and gets returned to the dispenser. Okay, we're in the Nether, we have that zombie there. As soon as the villager steps off the portal, which he can pause sometimes, but as soon as he steps off it, the zombie will scare him and he drops down into that 2-drop hole where there's a bit of rail, and there's another dispenser where we can just click the button and the minecart will pick him up. And then that portal over in the distance there, well, let's imagine that's going to be our villager trading hall. It's going to run over there and drop him off. Now, if you wonder why I've paused, it's not just so I can chat, it's because there's a portal cooldown of around about 30 seconds for mobs. So if a mob comes through a portal, it won't go back through another portal, any portal, for at least 30 seconds. Just to be on the safe side, I tend to wait 1 minute, but that's what we're going to do here. We're just sort of pausing, and as soon as we're happy that the portal cooldown is done, we're going to go down, there's another dispenser there, we'll hit the button, and then we'll see what happens to the villager, and we can look how to transport them once we get to the final destination. Don't worry about how fast this is going. We're going to go and do the tutorial and show this in more depth. I'm just going to skip ahead here to pressing the button. Here we go then, we press the button, it picks the villager up. He's blocked in by glass, he won't take any damage if he goes through a transparent block like glass, and then off to the portal, over another bit of activator rail. Now because this end portal is not permanent, we don't have a collection system, just have to pick that up. And then it's easier in the overworld side, we can just put some water here and do exactly what we did in the Nether. We just drop him into a 2-drop with another dispenser and we can just send him off to wherever we want. This bit here is temporary, so don't worry too much about that. You know, you just do something nice and quick to get him where you want. The bit that we showed at the start with the villager breeder, that's permanent. You've only got to build that once. Okay, we're going to go into the block by block tutorial. So when you've built the breeder, this is what you end up with. Also, you can get the schematic from abfielder.com. Link will be in the description. We're going to break a couple of blocks here. Now, don't worry too much about the layout. You can change this to suit. I'm just giving you a sample, so we're not going to count out every individual block here. But I am going to put some powered rails in just to make sure the minecart has plenty of momentum. We're going to put a redstone torch there just to power those powered rails. Okay, and then we're going to start our portal. Now, we're going to put our activator rail right there. Okay, and then another piece of powered rail. We only need 1 activator rail. Now, that activator rail has to be where there's a portal block. So it can be on either of the 2 blocks in the middle there, but it's got to be on one of those 2. Doesn't matter which. And then we can just build that portal up as normal. There we go. Now, the next thing we want to do is to continue that rail round and bring it back to that to that dispenser. And then we haven't got to worry about collecting the minecart. Now, that's completely voluntary. You could just stop the rail where I was previously. As soon as the villager's chucked out, you could then just go and grab the minecart and chuck it back in yourself if you want to save some resources. This is nice and simple though, so I highly recommend building it. Saves you loads of time in the long run. So create place the hopper into that dispenser, then another one into that hopper, and then 1 hopper on top. We're going to place another block going there, and the rail will actually finish on top of the hopper. Now, to break the minecart, we need a bit of cactus, and to plant cactus, we need sand. So we place a solid block, then we place a sand so it doesn't drop. You can't place cactus when there's a block on the side of it where it was there, so I broke the glass, placing the cactus, then place a slab on top. Okay, now let's put in the rest of the rail. We're going to use a bit of unpowered rail to turn the corner here, and then just come back round, and again, unpowered rail to turn the corner, and then powered rail just to finish it off there, and then crouch place on top of the hopper. There we go. Now we just need to power that with redstone torches, and in fact, if I place it there, should reach both ends. Yep, perfect. And then, yeah, it's done all that. And then we need the bit around here. There's 2 blocks here that need powering. Okay, and lastly, the activator rail is not powered, but it needs to be powered, and we need a lever. So grab yourself a lever, and it needs to go on the side of the block. And don't break the rail. You don't need to break the rail. Let me put that back. There we go. Then use your lever, power it so it turns bright red like that. And now we can go ahead and test it. If we push this button, a minecart will come out. We'll see it wobble as it goes over the activator rail. Just briefly saw it there. It'll come back. You barely see it hit the cactus, but I assure you it does. And then it goes into the hopper, and there we have our minecart back in the dispenser. Right, now we need to just work out the coordinates of our portal before we step through. We want to make sure this is really accurate. So I press the F3 button. You can see my X, Y, Z coordinates on the left-hand side of the screen. Grab those, then you divide by 8. But you can use a website like Mavenspun that makes it nice and simple. And then that just accurately lines up our portals. Just helps if you have portals close by. Okay, there's a good view for you. If you need to pause, do so now. Okay, when you're ready, light up your portal and step through. Okay, now this will create a brand new portal for me in the Nether, and it's underneath the ceiling. Now you can build this underneath the ceiling. There's no reason why not. The only reason I'm building this on the ceiling is because it makes transportation much easier. So if you need to know how to get on the ceiling in survival, just YouTube. There are plenty of guides. It's actually pretty simple. I'm just going to block that back up. Grab your coordinates from the previous step and then build your portal back on the ceiling. Like I said, you don't have to. You can build it under the ceiling. What I'm going to do is place a temporary block there, and then I'm going to start to build up my chamber where I'm going to drop the villager. So that there will be the drop for the villager. And if I break that one there, that dispenser is going to go there, and the villager is going to come out that direction. The direction does not matter. So if I bring the rail out here, you can see what I'm doing. And if I grab a dispenser and place it under the glass block, there we go. And then a little bit of unpowered rail, and then, you know, that will take him off to where we want to go. Okay. So then we want to go side on from here, like this, and then we can break that block. We want to build the portal level with this layer we've just built. So there's like a 1 block gap between that and the ceiling. Build it 4 long like that, like we did in the previous step, and then build it up. You can make this bigger if you want, but there's absolutely no need. And then bring it across like that, just your typical portal. Right, we need to block up the back of the portal. So you'll need to place a temporary block there and then just build it up. Don't forget that, otherwise your villager's going to wander off onto the nether ceiling. Then we need 2 high walls everywhere that the villager can go. And then 2 high there as well. We're going to have to get a zombie in here. The zombie makes it so much simpler because as soon as the villager steps out the portal and sees him, he runs into the 2 block gap. If you don't do that, it's going to take a long time. So that's essentially the gap where the zombie is going to look through. But actually at the moment, we've just got to prepare this area to get the zombie through. So that's what we're going to do. The zombie will stand there. So we'll wrap around these blocks. And there we go. And build it up so it's 3 high. We'll have a roof over the top of him. Okay. It'll be like that. He'll be standing in there. So that's how you build this section up. And now we need to light that portal up and go get ourselves a zombie. So let's go do that. And I'll show you how to do it in survival. Okay then, just one thing I forgot to mention. Put a temporary block over the rail there so your zombie doesn't drop down. It'd be really embarrassing if you recorded up some footage and that happened. And completely coincidentally, I've lost my name tag. Let me just create another name tag. So you need a name tag for this, or you need to give an item to the zombie to pick up, which is a little bit more difficult because not all zombies will pick up items. Okay, I have protection 4 armor and an elytra. So if I go into survival mode now, you can see I've got protection 4 and elytra. If you've got protection 4, then you can just step through the portal after the zombie. As long as you're fairly quick, he's not going to kill you. Okay, unless you've given him a sharpness 5 sword, you'll be fine. If you don't have this, then create a portal off in the distance over there and create a corresponding one in the nether as well, so that you can drag the zombie through this one, then go off to your other portal and fly over to the zombie. Okay, so at nighttime, go find a zombie, either give him an item or name tag him before you go through the portal. I've removed the rails because he won't step over them. Then I've just sort of walked through the portal and just gone as far as I can, and then he's walked through too. Make sure your hunger bar is not missing any. Make sure it's full. So I need to eat some carrots here to get it back up to full. Make sure your rockets are in your hand and then step through the portal. Once you step through, you want to fly out pretty sharpish because he's going to turn around and hit you. Depends where he's standing. He was in the corner not looking, so it was nice and easy for me. That's a terrible landing. Let's try that again. Here we go. Now, we want to get him in the opposite corner to where the rail is. We want to get him here, but he can be a little bit of a pain. So what you want to do, because you can't place a block because he's sort of standing there, is punch him. Not with your sword, just punch him. And very rapidly place that block to trap him in. Next thing we need to do, place another block there, and then a block over the top. Make sure you place that block over the top before you do the next step, which is to remove that block there so you can see the villagers as they step through. If you don't put a block over the top, then, well, he's going to jump out. One more thing you want to do is place some non-spawnable blocks on top of your portal right there. Okay, and then the next thing we can do is remove that temporary block we placed in above the rail. There we go. Okay, the other thing you want to do is put in another block just in front of the zombie there, level with the portal. What you don't want is the villager to step up on that block there. Okay, we can go back through to the overworld now. Now, like an idiot, I'm going to forget to place in those rails that I took out to get the zombie, and we can just test this system. Okay, we got an adult. Perfect timing. I love it when that happens. Didn't even need to use a spawn egg. Okay, he's in the corner. We can press the button. It'll pick him up. Now, it dropped him in a weird place there. Don't worry about that. That was a graphical glitch. It will always throw him into the portal. Step through your portal. He's already been scared by the zombie and dropped down into the section there where we can pick him up with the rail. We need to put some minecarts in there, and then I can show you how we drop him back off into the overworld side now. I just break this and put in the rails. There we go, and they get powered up again. Let me just let me dispose of that villager. There we go. And let's just demonstrate that again. Like I say, there was a graphical glitch the first time. If I just grab myself the spawn egg, throw him in there, and press the button. Let's check it out this time. There we go. That looked much, much smoother. It throws him in the exact same place every time. Like I say, it was just a graphical glitch. You saw him go through, even though he looked like he was in a weird place. And there we go, instantly scared by the zombie, and he's already there by the time we step through. Okay, and I'm going to remove him too. Right, let's build up the next part of this. Okay, now we want to build up the part where we drop him off at wherever it's going, a villager trading hall, crop farms, or whatever. So all I'm going to do is build down some rail, and then we're just going to build up a portal, and that's going to be our imaginary drop-off area. I'm just making sure it's well out the range of that portal so we don't accidentally link up with it. I grab myself some redstone torches and just power this rail now. There we go, and I'm using the Tweakaroo grid placement here that makes placing down redstone torches really simple. So if I'm just holding right click, it's just going to place it 16 blocks apart. That'll make sure my rail's nice and powered. If you need to know how to do that, I've actually done tutorials on Tweakaroo, so make sure you go check those out. I'll put a link down below. Okay, now we need to build up our portal. So you actually need to raise this up one block if you're on the ceiling. So we're going to grab some obsidian, some smooth stone, an activator rail. We've got redstone, we've got powered rail. We need a lever as well to power our activator rail. There we go. Okay, let's build this up then. So we're miles away from our portal. We're at our villager trading hall, he says in double quotes. And then we've raised it up. We're going to build our portal here. Same as we did in the overworld step before. One of those blocks there needs to be our activator rail. Just a standard portal, nothing special about it. Bring up your powered rail. Then on one of those two blocks, put an activator rail, and then just see off your minecart down there. I'm not putting a collection system because in my head, this is a temporary area that you're just going to destroy as soon as you've transported your villagers. Place your lever, power your activator rail, and then light up your portal. And then I'm just going to step through it so that it creates my new portal, and just make sure it's nowhere near the existing one. It's not, it's absolutely miles away. Okay then. Right, the next step we need to do is in the overworld of this side here is build up a way to pick up the villagers. This is much more simple than in the Nether. I'm just going to dig down 2 blocks here. This is just an example of what you can do. And then we're going to get a water bucket. It's nice that we're in the overworld. We can use a water bucket instead of the zombie to force him across. And if we dig that out to wherever that water stream ends, 7 blocks normally, there we go. We can place a dispenser in there, and then our rail coming off there. The water stream will push the villager onto the rail, and there we have it. We can send him off to our trading hall, to our crop farms, whatever. We just need to stick a button on there. Okay. What would be really embarrassing is if I made a mistake here and forgot to put some glass in. Ignore that villager in the top corner there. Place a block there so the villager can't wander down the rail, and a block above that dispenser there so he can't just step on the dispenser and walk away. Just ignore that villager. That wasn't take number 2. And if you happen to see 2 minecarts there, you're imagining things. Let's get rid of those. No one in this video forgot about the portal cooldown time as they were recording footage. If you think this is 15 minutes at the moment, this video, if you think that's how long it took to record, you're kidding. This took quite a lot of recording. So we're going to place another villager in. We're going to press the button. He's going to get picked up. We had that weird graphical glitch, but like I say, he is always deposited in the portal. He's already been scared. Now, this time, I'm going to wait 30 seconds. Take 1. I forgot to wait 30 seconds. No, wait. Take 1. I sent him through into the overworld and I'd forgot to put the glass block over the top of the dispenser and he wandered off. Take 2. I forgot to wait 30 seconds. I was really impatient. Sent him down to the portal and he's on the nether ceiling now, just sort of walking around for all eternity. Okay, I think we're pretty good here for the 30 seconds. I think we can step down, press the button. There we go. There's villager number 2. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Anyway, they're mistakes I can tell you about and warn you about as I'm building as I'm doing the tutorial, which is helpful in itself. Okay, he's stood in the portal. Sometimes they'll stand there for a minute or 2. I mean, you can try and nudge them out. And there we go. If he stands in there, now he's got nowhere to go. So if we just press the button and send him off to our villager trading hall, and of course he gets trapped in the block there. Well, there we have it, folks. That is how you do villager transport every single time now. We can transport him into the nether. We know how to transport him back into the overworld. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, consider hitting that subscribe button. I've got a fantastic series of SMP, survival SMP, videos out at the moment on the Strangecraft server. They're 3 minutes 50 or 3 minutes 30 a video. They're awesome. Go check them out. I'll put a link right at the end of this video for the first in that playlist. Folks, I'm Abfielder. That's all I have time for. Goodbye.